Again, we welcome the Nebraska Huskers under the direction of head coach John Cook. And also joining us today are student athletes Michaela Fecke and Lauren Stivrins. Also, one more reminder that we will start with opening comments from Coach Cook, followed by questions for the student athletes. Following those questions, the student athletes will be dismissed, and we will open with questions for Coach Cook. So, Coach, your thoughts on the national championship match, please.
Well, I think it's a great night for volleyball. The two of the most storied programs in college volleyball went at it, put on a great match. What was the crowd? 18,000. It was an exciting match. It had drama. It went back and forth. And, you know, if you look at the stats here, they had one more side out than we did. And that's how close it was. So congratulations to Stanford. They played really well in that fifth game. They just seemed like they served really tough, and once we got off to a little lead, they made a nice comeback. But I'm very proud of our team on how hard they fought, and we did some really good things tonight and competed really well, and not many people gave us a chance. And you know, you get to the fifth game, anything can happen. So great effort by our team tonight as well.
Okay, questions for the student athletes, please raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone to you.
Brent Wagner from the Lincoln Journal-Star. Michaela, do you think there were any plays that you were making in the fourth set to win that so handily that you weren't able to make in the fifth set?
No, not particularly. I think that Stanford made a few great plays, and we had a few errors, and ended up obviously costing us a few extra points that won them the match.
Jeff Sheldon from the Omaha World Herald. Michaela, what were those differences in execution, you think, in Game 5 that Stanford made?
I mean, just looking at the stats, we didn't side out as effectively as they did in set 5. And I think that when you're only playing to 15 points, you have to side out very effectively. And we let them get a few too many runs and weren't able to come back. We fought really hard at the end, but wasn't good enough.
More questions for the student athletes?
I'll come back to Michaela again. When you look at those numbers that you had, 27 kills on 71 swings, were there any plays that you felt that you left out there, or do you feel like you did everything you could in this match?
I mean, I think you always feel like you leave plays out there. Balls you could have dug, kills you could have got, blocks, all of it.
Lee Feinswag from volleyballmag.com. Michaela, would you classify this season as a success? I mean, not trying to get moral victories out of it, but considering what you accomplished and then what you accomplished as a whole.
Yeah, looking at the season overall, I made bonds with girls that at the beginning of the season I definitely wouldn't have thought that I would have been as close with them as I was. And that's why I think losing is so difficult right now, is because I love them so much and want them to be so successful. And I think that overall, yeah, this season was a success because we learned so much from each other, from the coaches, and we made bonds that'll last a lifetime and memories that we'll cherish forever.
In the back.
Ty Peter on it's coronation.com. Lauren, was there something tonight, maybe a connection between you and Nicklin or something you saw that allowed you to be as effective as you were in a lot of situations tonight, a lot of great kills?
Not in particular, no. I think Nicklin's a really talented setter, and it was, I don't know, we've just been connecting really well recently, and she's got a lot of faith in me, so her putting up hittable balls and me just going out there and taking risks, as Coach says, and swinging like a guy, swinging like dudes, I think it made me pretty successful tonight.
Kevin Suits, Channel 1011 in Lincoln. Michaela, you finished your career on a 27-kill performance, which is a career high. I know you want the team championship, but what does it mean for you to go out on this stage with that kind of performance individually?
Honestly, I don't really care about that. I really wish the score was flipped at the fifth set. But obviously, it wasn't good enough to win, and so what do you do?
Question here in front.
Pat Radigan with Corn-Fed Sports. Lauren, how does it feel knowing this is the last time you're going to go out there and wear the same jersey as Kenzie and Michaela and get to compete side by side with them?
Yeah, it sucks. I think they're two of the greatest players and people to have ever come through this program. And the legacy they leave behind is just second to none. And I don't know if I can be half the captain or player that they are. I think we'll be fine.
We have time for 2 more questions. We had one down here.
Jeff Sheldon with the Omaha World Herald. Lauren, what kind of pressure is Stanford able to put on teams with their ability to side out and all the different attackers that they put on the floor?
Yeah, they have a really huge block and side out. Okay, yeah, they have really talented hitters and Jenna Gray's a phenomenal setter. So I think that's why.
Last question over here.
Brent Wagner from the Journal-Star. Lauren, what was it about these teams and these matches where there were big swings and momentum and both teams went on big runs at points?
What was that? Sorry?
What was it about this match where both teams were able to make big runs?
Yeah, I think it's just going out there and wanting it. I think both teams gave it all they got tonight, and it sucks to come up short, but I don't know. We'll figure it out for next year, I guess.
All right, thank you, Lauren and Michaela. You can go back to your locker room. And as a reminder, also, the locker room is open for additional interviews with student athletes not present at the press conference. In a moment, we'll open up for questions for Coach Cook. Okay, questions for Coach Cook, please raise your hand. We'll bring the microphone to you.
John, typing on coronation.com. John, looking back on Michaela and the leadership role that she had, what do you see in Lauren and some of the other girls behind her that give you hope that that legacy will last with those kinds of girls too?
Well, as of right now, the legacy has to get passed on, and Michaela and Kenzie both have done a phenomenal job of showing these younger players how to make a team, build a team, create a team, get them playing together, and where they could probably play better than the sum of their parts, which I think this team did, and especially the last 2 months. So they've just been great leaders in that. They've been great teachers. They've been great examples. And as I told them in the locker room, that Michaela and Kenzie and Brooks part of that as well, that they have created a legacy here over the last 4 years that we're all going to be chasing. I'm going to have to become a better coach. Our returning players are going to have to find a way to go to another level to try to even reach what these guys have done. And if you look at over the last 4 years, they're 51-3 in the months of November and December. And it's not like we're playing a bunch of nobodies in November and in the NCAA tournament. And they've had, I don't know how many different assistant coaches over those 4 years. They've been to 4 Final Fours, won 2 of them, lost in a semi, and now lost in a final. So it puts those guys' legacy way up there in college volleyball. But we're going to make a commitment. Lauren's going to be one of the leaders. We're going to make a commitment and chase that legacy.
Question over here.
Kevin Suits, Channel 1011 in Lincoln. John, I know you finished as the runner-up. How fondly, though, will you look back on this 2018 season?
I thought last year it couldn't get any better, and I've had more fun coaching this year, more satisfaction, more enjoyment because of where we started and all the mountains we had to climb, and we get to this and play this competitive as match against a great Stanford team that's a very veteran team. They've already won a national championship, all these, players. They've had a great season, and, for us to compete and be in there in the end, it's pretty rewarding. But, the bummer is Michaela and Kenzie, this is our last match, and we have a special bond, and it's been a really cool journey with those guys. So I've already been Like on my phone cover picture is of Michaela and Kenzie sticking their tongues out at me, you know, doing weird signs. I mean, they put that on there. I don't know how to get it off,
Down here.
as an example.
Jeff Sheldon with the World Herald. John, what allowed you guys to flip from game 2, where you lost by a pretty significant margin, to dominating game 3 or game 4 like that?
Our serve blocking defense took over. You know, they hit 121. And I just thought we got dialed in. We made a couple adjustments. We started getting touches, digs, and conversions. And you know, like I said, we had some opportunities. I mean, in game 5, we missed 2 serves. You know, you look at they had one more side out than we did. If you look at the total points for the match, it's a half a point difference. I don't know how you get a half point in there, but ask the NCAA that.
More questions for Coach?
Pat Radigan, Corn-Fed Sports. You see her in here and you can see the emotions just all over her face, but right after the match, Michaela turns and she smiles and you see her kind of being there to help Lexi off the court. Just what's that say about her as a person and as a leader, being there for her teammates even in that moment?
Yeah, she's special. She's, like I said, that's a great leader. And she's learned and developed some incredible skills while at Nebraska, playing Nebraska volleyball, that will carry through her life to make her successful and be a great leader. She's going to be a veterinarian, so I mean, she will be the best dang veterinarian in Eastern Iowa probably, and just throughout her life. And you know, it's just been an honor to coach her for 4 years.
Again, Jeff Sheldon from the World Herald. John, it wasn't too many years ago when this program was struggling to make it to one Final Four. Making it to 4 in a row, what have these years taught you about how to appreciate when things are going good like this?
I'm so grateful every day. But we work really hard. I've learned how to surround our program with great people to allow these student athletes to become the best that they can become. And Mackenzie and Kayla and Brooke have created a culture of expectation and winning. And like I said, we're gonna be chasing it now, because it's really a really high standard that they've set and success level, and like I said, their legacy.
Time for 2 more questions. First, right here.
Jacob Myers, NCAA.com. John, just from the second set yesterday on, Nicklin was a totally different player. Just how she played tonight, how encouraging is that for you in the future?
Yeah, she's a warrior. I mean, for a freshman, she's the only freshman in the top 10 this year. She's the only freshman in the Final Four setter, and she's a warrior. And I'm looking forward to getting another year now with training her, getting in our strength program, all that stuff. So we got a great foundation to build on with her.
We have time for one more question for Coach. All right, Coach, you're free to go. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Thanks, you guys. And thanks for being here, for supporting all this, and great job for volleyball.